Hello, I am Jamie Lurch from InTheLurch.com, and I am here today to talk to you a little bit about my brand new business and about my brand new collection. So, first, let me tell you a little bit about my business. I am a designer by trade. What that means to me is that I went to school to be a designer. That's what I went to college for, was to be a designer. And I had a previous website to this one. And when I decided to include my Artisan handmade soap, I took that website down and I lost the domain and several of the things that were associated with that website. So I kind of struggled a little bit with finding a new name, something that fit me and fit my business. And I came up with In the Lurch, and it just works. On that website, you will be able to find all kinds of things that I design. What I'm going to talk to you here primarily about is handmade soap, or at least today, that's what we're going to talk about, is handmade soap. So my handmade soaps, if you go onto my website, you'll see two tabs. One of them will be for my normally complex. The next one down will be for my atypically simple line, and then I will have a third tab added to that that will be my limited series tab. The new soaps that are coming online will be available through that limited series tab. Now, my normally complex and my atypically simple lines, those two tabs and those soaps are about 4 ounces in weight, and they're exactly what they sound like. So as a designer, I really like being able to design soap, and I really like the fact that when I'm working with soap, I get to design that soap from the bottom up. I mean, every aspect of that soap I get to design. And when you're designing a soap, you're really seeking for the perfect bar of soap. Perfect lather, perfect hardness, perfect everything. And when you do that, you end up with a relatively complex recipe. That complex recipe is also relatively normal. So, as far as I know, I've seen a lot of soap maker recipes, and it's relatively normal to have a somewhat complex recipe. But for those of you out there who have atypical skin and really need a simple recipe, those are what are included in my atypically simple line of soap. Simple recipes for those people who have atypical skin. Now, those bars can be bought individually, but and will be restocked. So if I ever run out of that recipe, that stock is all purchased, I will make more and restock it. These new soaps in the limited series collection aren't going to be able, you're not going to be able to purchase them individually. You'll be able to purchase a pack of 3, or you'll be able to purchase a pack of 6. You aren't going to be able to purchase these soaps individually. So that's one thing about the limited series collection, is that it's designed to be sold as a collection. You're going to get a collection of 3 soaps, or you're going to get a collection of 6 soaps. These soaps are also almost double in weight to my normal soaps. So my normal soaps come in at about 4 ounces, and again, they're handmade and they're hand cut, so the weight is not going to be exact. These soaps come in at around 7 ounces. Again, the weight is not exact. It varies a little bit. So there is that. That collection will also offer a sample pack. So I don't really offer samples anywhere else on my website, but I will be offering a sample pack for the collection. That sample pack will have all 6 soaps in it, and your samples will weigh around 2 ounces each. Okay. This collection, because it's my first collection, I went ahead and decided to do something that dealt with the holidays, primarily because my first collection is being released around the holidays, and also because it's my first collection, so I wasn't sure how it would be received. Now, my next collection, which is due to release January 1st, is not going to be the same. It's not, it's going to have a theme, but it's going to be pretty much whatever I want. So please keep that in mind and keep a lookout for those. I know I didn't do a very good job really promoting this brand new thing, which is a bad business move, but I will do my best to try to take care of that in the future. Please, I am also going to make another video where I talk all about the fragrances that I chose for this collection and some of the fragrances that you'll find in my other soaps. My take on those fragrances, how I think they smell in the soaps. There'll be another video on that, so expect to see other videos on that to my collection. So the first soap in my collection is going to be my October soap, and my computer is going to do something funky with the light. This soap, of course, is a pumpkin, and it is meant to represent Halloween. So for those of you who've never purchased or don't know anything about handmade soap is not new. This technology is not new. Handmade soap, or the making of soap by combining acids, fatty acids, with a base or alkaline material, in this case lye, and creating a chemical reaction. Those two things, they find each other and you get a chemical reaction, and then what's left behind after the chemical reaction is a polarized salt, also known as soap. So handmade soaps are, by their nature, alkaline in their makeup. They're alkaline. They're not acidic. And so that's one of the benefits to using a handmade soap, is that you're getting a soap that is alkaline. It's a base. So this is my first soap, and it is October's. And you can see, for those of you out there who are soap makers, you can see that when I tapped this soap down, this eye moved around on me, but he's still a pretty silly little pumpkin, so he's pretty good. This is my November soap, and for this I was pretty much just going for, all the leaves have fallen on the ground, everything is turning brown, it's chilly out, and you're just wanting the sun and the heat. So that is my November soap. This is my December soap, and this soap was pretty soft when I cut it, so you can see that I cut these two slivers off the primary batch, and this one fell apart, and you can see that they kind of stuck together after I laid them on top of each other on the drying rack. And so I'm not sure if you can see this, but this over here is a tree, and then snow, and a little bit of drifting snow in the night sky for December. What I was going for with December's is really those cold nights and green pine trees. I don't know what you love about the winter, but that's what I love, is the green pine trees that seem to just stand out in the night. And this is January's. For this I was going for a starry night. So clear, starry night. And my computer just shut off on me, so give me a moment. Sorry about that, my computer shut off on me. I was going for a starry night, so just thinking about crisp, clean, cold nights where the stars seem to be the only beauty that you see. And then February's For February, I was kind of going for flowers and yin and yang, polar opposites kind of coming together. So this design is really meant to be like the petals of a flower and the yin and the yang of the season. It's set on a flowery background, so I picked a flowery color for the background for February's. And then March's, I used the cutoff for March, the one that will be in the series. I used that cutoff to wash my hands with. I do, of course, pH test all my soaps, but I also will wash with a brand new recipe. I'll use that soap, wash with it, especially if it's a brand new recipe. I want to make sure that it's safe. I want to make sure that it doesn't do anything funky to the skin, or that there's nothing wrong with it. I do use a soap calculator, and the soap calculator and everything said it was safe, and I used a 5% superfat and all that jazz, but I still just like to test it. So I washed with it. I got in the shower and I washed with it, so I don't actually have it. But I do have this one. Now this is the one of the ones that I made that is, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And so because I didn't like it, I went ahead and made a new one. So the new one is purple with black swirls and then a much smaller sort of moon on this side and then a crescent moon on this side. And I did that again because I didn't like that this moon was this big, and that greenish color didn't really represent a night sky to me. I didn't like the way the color turned out. I do like the size of the moon and the position of the moon, but I didn't like this green. I didn't like this. So for those of you who do choose to buy the collection, and I do have several soaps or several batches of soaps that I made that I didn't really particularly care for how they turned out. I had some tree soaps for December that turned out looking like aliens. So I will be including one additional bar in every single one that I sell. That will just be because I can, because I have it and it's extra, and I can. So those will be included for everybody who buys one in the collection. Now you'll be able to buy 3 bars. You can buy 3 bars, or again you can buy all 6, or you can buy the sample pack. Now the difference between the sample pack and the full-size bars is that the sample pack bars don't necessarily have a design in them. They just have the same fragrance and the same colorants, but the design is basically just going to be swirls. So there's not going to be a primary design in the sample pack version. Some of them do have a design. If I had a little bit extra of my extruded bits and I had enough extra in order to put them in the sample pack, I did put them or include them in the sample pack. I didn't do that for every single one because I didn't have extra for every single one. And because I made my sample batches separate, I made a whole batch of sample for those of you out there who don't want the full-size bars and would prefer a sample pack. There's a sample pack out there for you. You will get all 6 in the sample pack, and again, it comes as a pack, so no buying individually. You're going to get packs for the collection. I will also be doing another video. The next video that I'm going to do is going to talk with you about the fragrances that I used in the collection and some of the fragrances that are in the soaps. My take on those fragrances, what I think they smell like in the bottle, and what I think they smell like in the soap. For those of you who are new to this and don't know, a soap can smell very different, or the fragrance can smell very different when it's not inside the soap than it does when it's inside the soap. So sometimes you'll find that you like a fragrance a whole heck of a lot more when it's inside the soap than when it's not inside the soap. That's because of the heat and the saponification process actually will sometimes eliminate some of the scents or the notes in that particular fragrance, thus making that fragrance smell slightly different. So please stay tuned for that, or come back and see that in the future, and have a great day, and thank you very much for your time.